Hey people, Duncan here. I want to talk about human trafficking. But first, please subscribe to the channel, like the videos, comment in the box below, and hit that bell for notifications. So with that being said, let's talk about human trafficking. Okay, so, if you don't know, many third world countries have a kidnapping issue. Many children are kidnapped from all over the world, and they're brought illegally to America to be wives, to be prostitutes, to be sex slaves, to be many things. Many young boys are took into the child molestation rings. We see many children being kidnapped and forced into actual slavery. This is not something that's new. Slavery is something that's been going on in this country a long, long time. And human trafficking is no different. So here's what happens. You get a country like Mexico, or Panama, or any real third world country, and you take a child, specifically a female. You get a young girl, you kidnap her, you take her away from everything she knows. If you get them young enough, you breed them into prostitution. Or they end up getting addicted to drugs and forced into prostitution to feed their habits. Or they get into forced marriages, and or they end up just plain out slaves. Many of these children come here uneducated. Many of them will never have an education. They will never be normal. It will take a miracle for these children to overcome this. When these children escape, they come here, when they escape, they literally have nothing. They're forced to go to school, they're forced to go to work, they're forced to learn, to work, and to make money as they go. So when we're talking about human trafficking, let's take in consideration that the biggest contributor to human trafficking is an open border, is a border that allows children to be kidnapped in a third world country like Mexico or Panama and to be brought into America illegally and to be forced into these prostitution rings, human trafficking circles. Many of them trade a life of sex for their families to become legal. Many of them are tricked into coming here, promised work, only to find out the work is prostitution. So you see, building the wall helps curb and stop the human trafficking, helps stop the drug trafficking and the weapons trafficking. It may not completely stop it, but nothing is foolproof. But if we can eliminate at least 75% of the problem, why wouldn't we? And when it comes to building that wall, let's just consider that we spend $3.7 trillion a year on the war on drugs. This is money that could easily fund that wall. So, it's ironic that you have these children popping up in Pizzagate, popping up on Anthony Weiner's website. You got these pedophile rings. These children were either kidnapped or given up and put inside these homes, these foster cares, and they were preyed upon. They were turned into victims. Some of these children were brought here illegally, kidnapped from their own homes and villages. They were brought here, forced to come here, forced into a life they've never known, they've never wanted. And many of them continue to struggle here to get away from that life. So when you look at places like Nevada with legal prostitution, you got to ask yourself, how many of these women were brought here illegally? How many of these women traded their freedom for their families? How many of these girls were conned into being here? Or were addicted on drugs and forced into sex slavery? How many of these people and these boys were forced into molestation rings? pedophile rings? How many were forced to go fight for armies and nations they didn't care anything about? These are all real-life problems with human trafficking, right here in America. So please, wake up, America. Build that wall. Help stop illegal immigration. Help stop human trafficking. Help stop all these wrongful, illegal acts against humanity. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, and God bless. Duncan out.